Yep, okay, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit of time for people to come in. So Gemini's deck is gonna be the definitely not Tim Burton tarot or the Deviant Moon. I prefer to call it definitely not Tim Burton because does that not look like Tim Burton's drawing and artistry? Cancer gets the Tarot Grand Lux. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna go with Gemini first. The sign of actually a man and a woman connecting, but also the twins if you want to go about it that way. So without further ado, Gemini, let's see what your dark goddess is for this month of June. And there's Kelly. So let's take a looky look to see. And again, this is intended for somebody who has a Gemini ascendant, but if you just know you're a Gemini sun, that'll work just as fine. If you're cross-watching, I prefer you don't, but if you do, hey, no harm, no foul, I even do it too. Yo. Okay, we have our dark goddess for you, and now we're going to have our daemon come out. Daemon, or awkward card that's in this deck that isn't a daemon, but it's like dancing toads or something like that, or a broomstick for some reason, which I don't really seem to kind of understand why. There's a, hey, there's Ethan. Yeah, Ethan, not like, oh, it's Ethan Winters. Let me guess, you want to get your daughter Rose back, huh? Yeah, don't. I'm not going to be doing like a male Lady Dimitrescu. Is that how I pronounce her name? Don't expect me to try even do something like that. I don't even think I'd be able to pull it off. Well, Ethan Winters. You escaped my little brother's games, did you? Let's see how special you are. Yes, mother. Starting to go a little stale. But no, I'm going to stop right there. Oh, wow, this is quite the combination, Gemini. Goddess for you is Hecate for protection. Okay, that's good. The Daemon. Alistair. So, month of June. You have divinity protecting you, and you have higher forces safeguarding you. And you can definitely go Hong Kong flu, and it's like divinity is being all, you're going to do what? You're going to really curse or really hex someone so bad that they're going to have a lot of negative energy and completely decimate an aspect of their life. Did anybody hear that loud bang noise? Must have been nothing. But pretty much that's kind of like the thing I'm getting. You have divinity actually keeping you safe from having negative repercussions come out when you're actually going at somebody. Hello again, Kayla. So Gemini, this is definitely the optimal time to go after somebody who you've been wanting to go after or be taking a swing at, or making them have a tragic slip. Yeah, exactly. This is the month to do it because divinity won't even pay any attention to you swinging at someone, even if it's unjust. Like, say, for an example, if there's somebody who you just don't want to deal with and they've been kind of obnoxious to you and you haven't done anything because it's not, you don't want to cause, you didn't want to cause them harm because you would kind of feel bad. But now's the month to actually tell them, hey, piss it, go away. Like, actually do some hot foot or send a, well, I wouldn't say in tranquil spirit because that's a little harsh. But this is a month where you can actually go after somebody and severely damage them. Because divinity is not going to bat an eye. They're going to just respond, oh, that happens. But if anything, if there's someone trying to cause you harm or like really become ruthless towards you, you have divinity protecting you. So you're in the clear. So this is a month where you're protected from any kind of negativity or anything malefic or baneful coming at you. But also, if you're going after somebody, you're not going to have negative repercussions come back at you. So this is a month to get all the darker stuff out. This is a month to start making your puppets and start, practicing beheading them. This is also, if you want to be even really nasty, this is where you can actually test some of the workings, like say, if you want to like have the doll be standing up and you actually want to throw like little poison darts at them just to see if that works. Just some ideas. Hey Dolly, it's been a while. I'm so glad. So glad you came in to visit because if you're a Gemini, this is the month where you can turn up the sass and get a little aggressive and feisty. Have at it. To see how dark you can get this month, Geminis. Bonus points if you actually are able to have them do a flip and land on their head. Nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. But you're also protected if they're coming at you in a destructive or painful, malefic way. So if you're safe all around, so use his energy while you can. And divinity is not even gonna bat an eye like, oh, he just cursed that person so bad for like the next future lifetimes. No matter what happens to them, they're never gonna be satisfied with like their romantic partner of choice. Oh, well, it happens. It happens. And that's how they're gonna respond just by looking at this and what I'm getting. So now let's do the tarot part. And the deck, again, you're getting the definitely not Tim Burton tarot because it looks like something Tim Burton would draw. Definitely not copyright infringement. But what do I know? Current position, King of Swords. Up in this depiction, we have a king, and below him is somebody. Oh, Scotland? Are you native from Scotland? Because I lost see. I know about Nessie. Oi, she punctured me bagpipes last summer. Oi, lass. I mean, I never thought that Nessie would like to take me bagpipes and go. But now me bagpipes don't blow. They go. Cover your muckers, bloody Nessie. But this depiction, you have the King of Swords, and below him is actually somebody who looks like he's in deep doo-doo, and he actually has a ball and chain around his neck. So again, the current standing and the current energy of this situation altogether, you have the full authority and full power to swing as you deem fit of this individual, or do whatever you want to do. Because right now, what you say and choose to do, it's fair and balanced. It's just everything's just gonna go around with it. Gonna be encountering or challenged by or whichever comes out. You're gonna be encountering injustice. Wow. We have two cards representing just, making decisions that are just. And funny, just to be really giggly, this can represent Gemini. This is Libra. So I'm getting this now. If there's somebody who did you harm, you're protected to do it. But also, you're the one that's actually going to be giving the karmic backlash. So it's like divinity saying, okay, we're going to give you this thing, and with this thing, you can actually give someone like their punishment. So have at it. Okay. So now you can decide how you're going to use this thing. Are you going to just slap them in the face with it? Are you going to behead them? Not like this behead, but behead below the waist. Are you going to have this be like up the keister, whichever you deem fit? Divinity is giving you the keys to do as you deem fit, and they're not going to prevent you from doing it. So take full advantage of this. But you're also able to protect yourself and actually only take in things that are pretty much just for you to be served. You're only going to be punished what you have to be served with. It's not going to be like overkill. If that makes sense. Yeah. And funny enough, the fan is actually a defensive weapon. Like you're not supposed to be offensive with it. It's mainly meant to use to parry. So what's the cause of this big, definitely not purge with justice? The cause of all this is the Six of Cups. So possibly something of the past of someone trying to be all. This actually might have something to do with a friend that you had a close connection to, but they probably messed up with you too bad, and now you're wanting to settle the score. Or they could have actually, it could be somebody who was putting on a show and woozy wooing everybody, but you knew the truth and you're not having the BS anymore. Behind you or backing you up. Behind you is the Eight of Wands, but this depiction we have a woman trying to cut down these twigs, but she's getting a note from a raven. And I bet you the note says, nevermore, nevermore. Looks like we found out what this guy was doing. Forevermore, forevermore, forevermore. So, in the past, you possibly might have gotten indication or some kind of message that was telling you about how this person down below, the Six of Cups person, was playing a game, not being really upfront, and now Divinity's handing you the keys to go at him. Or even if they were doing something that was not really the most optimal and nice thing to do, you got the word of mouth, and now you're the King of Swords deciding their fate and what they're going to get hit with. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, okay. Best case scenario, or best case scenario that's desired, the Hermit. The best case scenario that you're desiring is actually having this individual get thrown under a no, under a bridge, become a troll. Be like, oh, well, it looks like you're stuck in a sewer with a fish out of water. Oh no. Well, looks like that's all you're gonna eat. Rotted BS that you've been spewing. So you're desiring, well, probably to put this person in solitary confinement and actually face their BS and actually fess up to it because this depiction of the hermit, he's like, oh no, 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 I must not look behind me because if I do, that's the truth. I don't want to. But this fish smells. So you're wanting them to actually face the truth of what they've done to you and just accept it and get past it, but they're not really going to accept it, so they're going to be sitting with their rotting fish. Oh, isn't that just nasty fishy? Coming towards the face, Eight of Pentacles. So coming towards is possibly you might be working very hard and taking advantage of this month of June, taking full advantage of it to make all those pentacles, all those little things you're going to be putting into your workings or anything to invest towards whacking this individual for their BS. So, I mean, you're going to be taking really good advantage of this situation if somebody's been causing you BS. Or if somebody has tried swinging at you and you're protected, you're actually going to be working hard to actually even score some way, shape, or form. Self-perception. Five of, Five of Cups. But now this depiction is not how I'm going to be reading it the way you think I'm going to read it. Five of Cups. You're seeing yourself as the Five of Cups. Essentially, you're seeing yourself as actually really turning up the sass and not having it. And you're kind of being like, listen, you little brat, I'm not having this crap no more. And this person down below is still taking it as a joke. Hence why the Eight of Pentacles coming right towards you, because now you're seeing yourself as becoming like mother hen, and this individual is being a dimwit towards your chicks, metaphorically. And even though they look like they're not taking it seriously, well, I hate to say, it's going to stink for them when the time comes. Outside perception. Ooh, ooh. Outside perception is seeing you as death. So most definitely, they're seeing you as like, oh crap. Maybe I can try and redeem myself. Nope, because this depiction of death is actually stepping on the liver, like the child of it. So they're seeing you as like superior, and they're kind of pleading you to not get the vengeance on them, but nope, you're still going to step on them. Hoping for, but also deathly afraid of. Nine of Swords. You're hoping for that said individual will not be able to get past this quite easily and have sleepless nights. But you're also afraid that you actually might afflict this person with a psychological disorder with the way you're getting vengeance. Not your problem. If they're stupid, they're stupid, and they gotta learn not to be stupid. Like what I've always said, the best way to help an idiot is to first, therefore, tell him he's an idiot and explain why he's an idiot, so therefore he'll stop being said idiot. And that's what you gotta do. Step up. So most likely outcome to be coming about. Most likely outcome is Queen of Sash. She's not having it. And even though this depiction we have the Queen of Swords and she has like one tear coming down from her cheek, full moon, but she has two. One sword is dripping blood and the other one is fresh and clean. So the outcome is actually going to involve you. Yeah, probably just going at them and just telling them how it is and not having the BS. But you might feel a little bit, like a little bit not so good about doing it, but it has to be done. And clarify the Queen of Swords. Give me two more of the Queen of Swords. You're well, clarifying it is a Nine of Pentacles, possibly somebody who was taking their sweet time on paying you back or giving you something that was deserved. They were taking their sweet time with it, and they were not moving as fast as you wanted to, and they were putting off an image that they weren't never going to be paying back or giving what was due because they're going so slow. High Priestess. But no matter what, though, you're still able to see past the BS in your life. You think I don't know what you're doing? You're being slow on purpose, dude. Let's not do that. So, they were trying to put on this show and trying to misdirect you, but the whole time you already know. So the outcome is going to involve you not wanting to do this, but if you have to do it, you have to do it. Give me 3 cards for suggested courses of action that can be done. One, option number 1, this is 7 of Wands. Pretty much surround the person with a lot of heat to tell them, okay, you're going to have to move your tush, or you're going to be getting hit upside the head with a blunt object, metaphorically. Option 2, Magician, using the occult measures and getting your vengeance, or teaching them a harsh lesson and not trying to be in the world's dumbest dimwits. Or option number 3, the Page of Swords. A lot of swords in this. Wow. Then again, it's a Gemini race. What do you expect? So another course of action is to actually kind of be like a fly, like, hey, you got that thing back? Hey, got that thing back? Hey, you got that thing back? Hey, you got that thing? Got it? Got it? Got it? Huh? Huh? That's another potential option. But I would have to say, best course of action is just use occult means to do it. But again, divinity is protecting you in this regard. You're secure, you're safe, no matter what route you do. But if there's some kind of just course of action, like, whacking them one, I mean, divinity is not going to stop you. In fact, they're going to look the other way and be like, oh, did somebody just get hit upside the head for being stupid? Oh, well, it happens. It was overkill? Oh, well, it happens. They're not going to they're not going to get in your way. But however, if you're not having that kind of situation, look at it as a way of, okay, I'm here. I'm still here. It's just this thing's being stupid. Better knock it off, otherwise I'm going to table flip. Okay, now to scooch over to Cancer. Now please don't have any interrupting stuff. Can I? Okay, that's turned out. I'm going to get this out of my life. Okay, now Cancer. Here we go, Cancer. Let's see what comes out for Cancer. First Dark Goddess, and then the Daemon to follow afterwards. So, Cancer's Dark Goddess for the month. What do we get? So that means you're Cancer, right? Yay. Let's see what we get for Kelly. Okay, we have our Dark Goddess. And now let's see what Daemon comes out. Nice try. Not pulling it because it didn't land properly. So, oh, that's sweet. For the Cancer, Dark Goddess is Chang'e for obsession, but I'm changing that word to devotion. And the Daemon is Count or even Duke. I think he's also known as a Duke. But Count Solos or Zabos. Oh, well, it happens. Sagittarius is a really difficult one to spell anyway. So, this combination, I give this. Obsession, also known as I'm calling it devotion, because obsession is kind of seen as a malefic term for being devoted to something. So in this regard, I'm getting this. Grab one book to double check my P's and Q's real quick Make sure I don't drive you off the cliff, because I don't want to drive you off the cliff. Just to double check. Honey bear. There we go. Okay, thought so. So this is what I'm getting. For having Chunga alongside Solas or Devos or however you want to pronounce it, look at it this way. Is a particular person really worth your investment? Take a moment to clear your head, stop worrying about things and actually do it. Don't make the pursuit of money being your main master because there's always something that you can't get. Heed the advice of those that have walked the path prior to you. So essentially, if there's a connection that you're with, this might be a time to actually take a moment to step back and pretty much take stock of it to see if they're actually giving you fair and equal trade. And since Solos is actually renowned for actually bringing couples together, I'm getting that he's also saying, hey, I could give you a hand with that. So if you're in a romantic bond this month, this can actually show potentially that maybe you should actually go towards Count Solos to help you with that. And he's a real sweetheart. Take it from me. I'm also getting if you're really devoted and committed to someone, still go out to Solos to see if he can help you improve what you already have. Because one of the things that people tend to not do is when they have what they desire and what they've been working for, or like when they finally have something that they like, they don't do anything about protecting it. They don't do anything about keeping it secure. They don't do anything about ensuring its longevity. It's kind of just like saying like you don't ever go to a doctor if you're not sick. You only go to a doctor when you're not feeling sick. But now take it this way. If you're dating somebody and things are going great, why not take in the extra precautions to ensure that that connection is secure and has safety? Like it has support and it has ground and it's getting more than just being happy-go-lucky. We don't need to do anything. Because usually not doing any kind of investment to keep it secure and protected, sometimes that's what causes it to go, and we don't want it to go. So any kind of connection that you have, this might be the month to actually consider investing in protecting it, securing it, or even enhancing it more than it already is. At least that's what I'm getting with these two. So now the tarot part with the Tarot Grand Lux, and I'm going to be so mad if the first card that comes out is Queen of Cups again, because this deck really likes doing that. It's like, oh, you using me? Well, guess what? First card, your card. And then its deck is torched, because F is deck sometimes. So let's see what we're going to get for Cancer this month of June. And funny enough, I have one Cancer placement, and it happens to be Mars. Oh, wait, no. There's actually two. It's Mars and Juno. Yeah, those are my Cancer placements. Mars and Her Royal Majesty Hera in Cancer. Which, funny enough, fun fact, Juno actually co-rules the sign of Cancer, funny enough. But nonetheless. Alrighty, let's see what we get here. The core of this whole entire month of June is going to be, don't you do it, don't you give me that card. Oh, okay, so does he better not be spending whimsically because he can have, put it this way, he can have his money and he can have fun with it, but there has to be that boundary of understanding, like, look, because you never experienced money and you want to enjoy it, you can, but you need to know your limit. You need to have the understanding of prioritizing first. Have your responsibilities prioritized and taken care of, and also have some set aside for ahead if anything bad happens. Ooh, okay. If you have that, then you can throw your money however you want. As long as your needs and things you have to be paid are paid, and you have some extra cushion, have at it. You can even throw your money at at women just dancing, going crazy. If you want to do that, or even guys going crazy and doing woozy woo stuff towards you, have at it. But when it comes to your needs and things you have to be done first, then have at it. It's okay. Things happen. It is what it is. But the main thing is that he's finally learned his lesson. That's the big thing. And even my mother's husband, well, was husband, that was something he did not know. And drove her crazy and drove me crazy. And I'm not gonna do that. So Cancer, core of this month, the world. So it's like there's going to be an ending of something, and then something better to be coming in. So let's see, what's going to be ending then? What's going to be going toodaloo, toodaloo, to the Nine of Wands? Somebody having their walls up, being like, oh, no, 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 I want to get rid of this coin. Okay, well, that's going bye-bye out the window. What is this now going to turn into? We have walls up. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just like a little kid. No, yeah, the little kid. It's okay. It is what it is. As long as you know he's learning the lesson, that's important. So the Nine of Wands is being put to an end finally, and then the new journey, quote unquote, begins with really. The new journey begins with this. F this deck. I quit. No. So the Nine of Wands is kicking the bucket and being finally put to rest, and then the new beginning begins with you being at your best self. And funny that this is actually considered to be a Cancerian card. So about that. So the core of this month is having the walls be up and the insecurity and being wounded and not wanting to let go of this one coin piece. It's now going to transform to actually having you become the best you can be and also significant other being able to notice it and respond to it correctly. Possibly, I think so, yeah. Especially this one, this one. It's like, hey, I'm up. Oh God, not again. But yeah, the way that this month is going to have it turn about is that the walls are going to come down. He's going to have to accept that he can't be throwing his big coin all over the place. But then he's actually going to see you at your best state, and then he's going to respect it. So then, what are you going to be encountering for this month of June? Then Hong Kong Fooey, full speed ahead. Both of you are going towards the right direction, working as a unit, and going full speed ahead. And funny enough, another Cancerian card. Yeah, especially from this deck. Other decks, not so much, but this one's like, hey, I'm here again. Fine. So yeah, Chariot. You're gonna be guys are gonna be countering the Chariot. So yeah, after this, yeah, but I think I don't need to say anymore. Once you have the core of this month, once you go from that Nine of Wands being all like, nope, you cannot have this coin, to okay, best self, that's when you both are gonna go face first into wherever you need to go face first with. And the cause of all this, or the foundation of it all, Page of Pentacles. That's odd. The cause of this is, someone being a bit immature with money. But they are trying to make a good effort in handling it better. But they're really grounded and practical, but they're still a little bit young. Nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. But hmm, that's the cause of it all. It's like baby Earth. It's like a baby plant. Wow. It's like, well, this is like definitely not being planned and staying in Kelly's life. Let's not put. Are we going to be putting her whole life on blast? Because let's not do that. That might be a little bit too much. What's behind you or backing you up? We have the Dark Magician now. What's backing you up is essentially you manifesting and using everything you know to woozy woo this thing into the direction you want it to go. So, or possibly you might have done something magical to get it to where it is now. Or essentially backing you up is also reminding you to potentially remember that you can actually control what's coming towards you and everything that's in the current present. You put it out to be that way. And I don't know why I'm getting this, but also you see the hooter right there? That sounds so bad. You see the hooter on his, shoulder? That could be a sign that Lilith is like, hey, hey, I see you have a dumb man that, is wanting to be made an Adam. Here, let me help you with that. Maybe he'll stop trying to be an Adam. Here, let me help. So possibly Lilith might be backing you up too with this, if it has to be done. But I'm looking at it as like possibly maybe you don't even need to have her help because it's like so good. I like hooters too, but not those kind. The kind that are like owls, okay? Especially barn owls. I don't know why, but those ones specifically are like the most pretty to me, but that's just me. Most desired outcome to come about, or that what is on top of your head, your crowning. Six of Pentacles, fair and just with the finances and fair in trade, balanced. Mhm. So, that desire looks like it's already being granted. Already. So then coming towards your face, or coming right towards you. Fine. Coming towards you is the Emperor. The Emperor is coming towards you. Oh, that's funny. Isn't that a card of Aries? That's none of my business. But now here comes the funny part. This is the funny part here. You have the Queen of Cups, and you have the Emperor. Now here's the thing. Believe it or not, when it comes to cards, you have the Queen of Cups with water and water. You have a major arcana, which is Aries. You have water and water. You have water at its purest state versus a card with just Aries energy. Even though it's a major, it can't really stand up against a queen in her own element. Water and water, you get purity with water. You just have Aries and a major. So it's like a father figure and one in commanding. Well, joke's on you. With the Queen of Cups, she's already in tune and she can't be swayed. So coming towards you possibly might be him trying to, be the big head honcho. But then again, he does realize without you being at your best self, he's going to cripple himself. So he actually might come towards with like trying to get some more control and trying to like write out and strategize things much better, but also have you become included in strategizing it. So, I mean, good lord. Already, I don't even know what else can be even better with this. So, now the staff part. Self-perception. You're seeing yourself as the Knight of Cups. You're seeing yourself as like, I know how to woozy woo him. I know how to woozy woo this one this way. And I even know how to make them fishes, make him get woozy wooed by the fishes. Yep. So you're actually able to seduce said person and woozy woo him or her or whatever you deem fit. You actually know how to use your words and kind of captivate him in the direction you want to go. Nothing wrong with it. It is what it is. But and how does this said individual see you in response to being woozy by him? They see you as temperance. So they're seeing you as a figure that's actually able to take any kind of situation and be like, okay, we're going to take BS and what it needs to be and synthesize into something else. So they actually see you as pretty adaptable and able to withstand any kind of situation. Might have some Sagittarius energy within it too. Hoping for, but also deathly afraid of. We are hoping for, but also deathly afraid of. Oh, an army wife? Then that can only mean one thing. Don't make mama mad. Don't make her mad because she'll make you do 50 laps around the house in your underwear out in the cold when it's snowing. And don't tell her no. That would be quite the image. Or even better yet, tell him to do it. You're in the army? Okay, listen, dude. You're misbehaving. Go outside and now do your laps. You're not gonna eat tonight. You better go out and do them laps. Hey, that's the best kind of a mother. You make a mistake, she makes you get fit while being disciplined. Now, here's the funny part. Hoping for, but also deathly afraid of Chris Farley, the devil. It's intended for rising signs, yeah. It's intended, but if you don't know your rising sign, you can use your sun sign instead. It's intended for rising, but you can use your sun for any of the readings I do. But if you don't know your rising, you can use your sun. You're hoping for, but also deathly afraid of the Chris Farley, the devil. So you're hoping for, both of you to actually be able to enjoy the 3D around you in your senses, enjoy luxury, enjoy pretty much everything that the world can provide you. But also, you're deathly afraid of that he might get addicted to, throwing paper all over the place, throwing money all over the place, and even heck might be worried about him gambling. But you're also hoping for that if you have to become the devil's advocate, being like, listen, dear, if you keep taking your money and you're throwing it out the window, hoping for something, good to happen, and then, it's going nowhere, you're going to be wasting the money. So don't throw your money out to the wind for no reason. Make sure you have a just reason that you're actually spending it, because somebody can be addicted to gambling. Primarily, that's the big one I'm getting from the devil. And even then, too, as just a bonus little life hack, whenever you're gambling or like you're going to be gambling money away, say you start with 10 bucks. Okay, you're going to go in with 10. So now pretty much you go max bet on a slot machine. So then you go from 10 and now you're at 15. Splendid. So now you take half of that, your 250. You hold on to 250 and the 10, you throw the other half back in. And whatever you gain after that, you cut it in half, take that half, throw that other half back in. But when you lose all that you had that was half in, the other half that was thrown in, once you lose all that, walk away. No matter what happens, you improved. But if you go through like your first spin and you didn't win anything, don't even bother to go afterwards. Know your starting limit, know where you started, and once that's gone, you're done. But if you go in and if you win quite a bit amount, cut it in half, keep half, throw the other half back in. That way, no matter what happens, you gained, and you only gamble with what you've gained, and that's all. That way, you're gonna always come out on top, even though it's not as like, but I have so much money to keep going. I need to keep going. No, if you cut it in half and throw the other half back in, you're always going to come in on top. If you lose the other half, you still gain some. And I mean, when it comes to gambling, you gotta strategize a little bit ahead. The most likely outcome to come about this all. Let's see what we get. The most likely outcome to come about for Cancer. Here we go. Fine, we'll go with it. Outcome. The Sun. Oops. Ugh, set. The outcome is the Sun. Depiction we have, I believe, is Aztec or Mayan a headdress with that, and then we have two raws on the side, and then we have two men who look like they came from Mardi Gras dancing underneath the sunlight. So yeah, I mean, what more can you ask for? Two Mardi Gras men dancing, two raws going raw raw to left and right, and then we have a Aztec guy with a headdress, and he's radiant. What more can you ask for? So the outcome is going to be having a lot of radiance, a lot of growth, a lot of happiness, and a lot of substantial growth and a lot of zest to it too. Clarify the Sun on top of that, would you? So the Sun, the clarification with Four of Cups, but this depiction we had for the guy being like, wait, there's a cup there? So possibly said person has actually come to realize that, oh, this is better. This thing is going to make me happy. Well, no, but come on. About time you realized it. So they're going to actually start to see how radiant the Sun's going to be. And I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's about bloody time that they look in the right direction. And the last clarifier for it is Four of Wands. I don't think we need to go any more further than that. Because we have somebody becoming aware that, oh wow, this cup is good. And then we have the celebration with the sun. It's like awareness, it's time to celebrate and get all bang bang, woo hoo hoo hoo. And then 3 more cards for suggested course of action, even though we kind of really don't need to have them because this deck's already so good anyway. Hello, Lua? I'm gonna just say, I believe that's how you say your name, Lua. This is like, yeah, 4 wands. Celebrate and definitely not one of the marriage cards. Oh, okay, Lou. Kind of like, what was that character's name from The Grinch? The girl's name, what was her name? What's her name? I know it's Luhu, but what's her first name? What's her name? What's her name? Cindy Luhu? So it's kind of like that, but without the Cindy and who? Lou? Okay, so it's Lou. Oh, okay. I'm not surprised. Usually, nearly whenever somebody new comes in, it's like, let me guess, did Lilith send you? Wow, you're making me feel important, dear. You're the one who knows this stuff. Funny. Then 3 more cards for Cancer and their suggested course of action. Well, all right then. Just threw that card out there like that. 2 of Cups. Nope. We have 1 card that's cheesy. And the soulmate bond. Well, okay, that's nice. We have a really deep connection. Okay. So intimately connect. King of Pentacles. So we now have mastery of the Earth realm, but also understanding to provide nurture and financial stability. Okay. And lastly, the 3 of Wands. So I'm getting this. Best course of action is keep investing into this connection, this deep connection, alongside somebody who's actually going to be mastering how to handle their mundane 3D everyday thing. It's a long-term investment in the deep connection. So at the end of the road, there's going to be somebody who's going to be grounded, able to provide fairly, justly, and invest into this connection as a whole. So most definitely, yeah, this is self-explanatory. You're a-okay. You're all in Kinkersville. Kinkersville. So yeah, Cancer. I mean, you look pretty good. Even Gemini looks good. Especially Gemini being allowed to go wild and curse and backhand whoever they need to backhand without divinity coming in saying, "Oh, that's a bit too much." Yeah, I'm a Libra too. Well, he's a Libra sun, that is. It has to have a Mercury Libra too, but bygones. Yeah, so it looks like both those signs are going to have a field day. So I guess for right now, I'm just going to have open floor, and if anybody wants to reading, just pop it in. Mars and Mercury Libra. So that kind of that actually shows a really diplomatic yet energized way of diplomacy. That kind of shows that the way that you communicate does have energy, and it's also pretty good at protecting and safeguarding others who need to have like somebody to defend them. It has the energy and the logic to combat anything in the legal system, so kind of like a public defender would be good with that kind of position, or somebody studying law and defending someone who can't defend themselves. That'd be an ideal profession. Oh, like I said, open floor. If anyone wants cardstock thrown at them, just pick a number between 1 and 4. And if you want daemons or dark goddesses, pick one or both. So there we go. And then also what your question is too. Between 1 and 4, and goddesses or daemons or whatever you deem fit. Because I mean, I'm getting, well, I'm thinking about it, in the mail hopefully soon. I should be getting pretty quickly this this honker piece of kunzite, which is about I gotta find a piece that's big enough to actually show how large it is. Essentially, a piece of kunzite that is about that long, and per se that thick, and that length. So it's pretty long but thick. And if you're new here, kunzite is like my fandom guilty pleasure stone. Like kunzite, I could literally just become like addicted to it. Like my kunzite, no, you can't touch it. I just love kunzite that much. So, so what if it's a love stone? It's a pink stone. Don't be hating. I mean, I'd be hating too if I didn't have kunzite, but I do. So, troll face. And also, when it's open floor, of course, you can ask any question you deem fit. Hey, loyalty. It's been how many moons? Moons now? Many moons? Thought so. And also in the mail, also Leo moon. So with a Leo moon, they they are actually perhaps one of the ones that desire to get the most recognition for their efforts. And a Leo moon, one finds security and one finds their themselves being full when they're given appreciation for their efforts and work towards providing others with something. Like if, for example, if somebody has a Leo moon and they're a teacher, essentially if they're given gratitude and being told that they were a part of their of the student graduating with high honors. Like for example, say if a student is taking their English class and they're actually in the excelled like honors English, and because of the teacher, this student is actually going to them and giving them the recognition for actually being in the honors class on top of actually getting straight A's throughout the whole year. The student is able to recognize that and give that back to the teacher. That's going to give the teacher so much sense of like being full and fulfillment and just being at his happiest, at her happiest, that that's like the best thing somebody can do, giving recognition and including them for being a part of how somebody got to where they are now. As well, this moon really likes to pretty much express their emotions in a way that's pretty lively. Like these kind of people would make really good, really creative um, script writers. Being a Libra rising. A Libra rising, well, let's put it this way. Well, to start, because let me just get the meh thing out of the way. Libra and Taurus rising have something pretty odd about it. Because Libra and Taurus, both of them, well, put it this way. Libra and Taurus are the only two signs that has their ruling planet look at them like, I don't like you. Hmm. It's pretty an odd thing because if you have Taurus rising, then you would have Libra in one of the houses 6, 8, or 12, which are deemed the malefic houses. And then Libra is the same thing. Taurus would be in one of those houses. So it seemed like that, but however though, that does not mean Venus is going to be swinging at you negatively. It's just that automatically it's kind of a bit awkward because your own ruler is like, mm-mm-mm. But here comes the redeeming factor. And this is where the good kicker comes in. Libra and Taurus have a planet become its lucky planet, their Yogacaraka, or like the planet that pretty much signifies them getting good luck. And this planet pretty much brings a lucky. Mm, and this one planet actually makes a really lucky combination all by itself by just existing. For Taurus and Libra, that lucky planet, and thank goodness is this planet, because I'm jealous because I don't have a Libra or Taurus rising. The lucky planet is Saturn. Saturn becomes Libra's and Taurus's lucky planet because you can see when it becomes lucky, it rules one of the Kendras, the first, fourth, seventh, and 10th. and also one of the triangulars, which is the first, fifth, or ninth. Whenever a planet owns one of those, when planet owns one of the Kendras, 1, 4, 7, 10, and 1, 5, 9, when a planet owns both, that planet becomes a Yogacaraka, or their lucky planet. So Saturn, funny enough, is best friends with Venus, and Venus is best friends with Saturn. hmm Well, Venus is your ruling planet for Libra and Taurus. That's their ruling planet. But I mean, to be technical too, some school of thought say the moon rules Taurus. So if you're a Taurus rising, it'd be Moon and Venus being your ruler. But that depends on your school of thought. But now with Saturn becoming your lucky planet. But now, depending on where Saturn's placed, even to make things better, if you have a Yoga Karaka Saturn and he's just relaxing in the seventh house, you have a lucky planet looking right at you in the seventh house where he gets directional strength. So when you have Saturn with directional strength becoming your lucky planet, even though he's a natural malefic planet, because that's how he is, he naturally trolls you and makes you suffer for stuff and tests you. That's just his nature. When he's looking at you, the best way to look at it is like you have your servant at the ready telling you, "What do you want me to do? Whatever it is, just tell me." And then that's pretty much how he responds. So having a lucky planet looking at you, he's actually going to be having those outside of you actually be devoted and committed to serving you and providing you the tools and being at your service to help you succeed. But he's going to demand you put a little bit of more effort towards mother if he's in that position. No, your karmic, pretty much where you're going to provide the most karmic service is towards mother, hospitality, any kind of business that involves luxury, or even also towards the household and family. That can be seen with that. Another thing for certain, Saturn in the seventh, your spouse figure is going to demand you put a lot of effort towards divinity. So expect your significant other to demand you do your religious practices and better yourself with education and whatnot. At least with Saturn in the seventh house. But since again, Taurus and Libra have Saturn as Yoga Karka, the lucky planet, all by itself. And now when you take it the reverse, with like Saturn and ruling Capricorn and Aquarius, Venus now becomes the Yoga Karka. Let me explain. Because in Vedic, I'm a Capricorn rising. In Western, I'm an Aquarius rising. So here comes this hot mess. So for Capricorn rising, Venus owns the houses 7 and no, he owns Venus owns the 10th and then the 5th. But I'm one of them kind of magical ones, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm one of those is like rainbows. So I don't mean to be all like rude, ruin the moment. It is what it is. Go with it. So yeah. So for a Capricorn rising, Venus would be ruling the 5th and the 10th, and that's Yokokaraka because owning one of the triangulars, the, the first, fifth, or ninth, she owns the 5th with Taurus, but then she also owns the 10th with Libra. So there's Yokokaraka. Then when we change it to Aquarius, boopity boop, timber there, and now Venus now owns this. Venus owns the 4th, house of mother, comforts, luxury, vehicles, security, household, the heart. And then she also owns the ninth house of higher education, philosophy, guru, religious studies, pilgrimage, long distance travel, high thinking, moralistic thinking, religious texts, historical texts, expansion of wisdom. So there's another Yogacarca. Fourth house, and then the ninth. And Venus becomes Yogacarca right there. And funny enough, Venus and Saturn are the only two planets that see each other as Yogacarcas for their ascendants. They're the only ones. They only see each other with Yokokarka. No other planet combination does that. Only those two. That's why there actually seem to be a really deep connection between the two, with the planets. And even though Mercury is friendly to both of them, Mercury Mercury would, well, I wouldn't put it that way. I would put it as Saturn is like grandpa or like the grandparent, grandelder, and Venus is kind of like Earth's twin, younger or older sister, around the same age. But when you have, say, Venus, Mercury, and Saturn conjunct, you essentially have this. You have the kids, and then you have grandpa, grandma. What usually happens when you have your kids with grandma and grandpa, they spoil them. They spoil them. And the kids love going with grandma and grandpa. And then what happens when the grandparents are done with the kids after they're spoiled? They give them back and they say, good luck. And that's how it is. And funny enough, when you have Saturn, Mercury, and Venus conjunct, oh my good Lord, Lanta, they are close and they have a lot of fun. It's true. And to make it even better, Mercury, Venus, and Saturn actually own the three houses of wishes, fulfillment, and desires. The third house of Gemini, sign of Gemini, that's Mercury. Seventh house of Libra, Venus, and then the 11th house of wishes, fulfillments of desires, gains, networking, across large scale, Aquarius. And funny enough, all those are air signs. Those are the houses of desire. Oh no. Anyway, so yes, to be technical, the air signs are technically your signs of desire and the ones that actually bestow the most wishes to you. And on top of that, there's only one other planet that can be a yoga karaka, and that's Mars. But Mars is, I keep thinking I'm hearing something. Oh, sure. Mars, I was saying, I don't know if you can hear me, but still. Mars's yoga karaka comes in like this. If you have a Leo ascendant or a Cancer ascendant, Mars is your yoga karaka. I'll explain. So, but now if you have any other ascendants such as Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, Aries, Scorpio, no yoga karaka for that. So, as an example, let me just dig around a little bit. So say now if you have a Cancer ascendant, Mars would then rule your 10th house with Aries, but then also your 5th house with Scorpio. That's your Karaka because the 5th house has Scorpio and then the 10th house has Aries. Those are the same. Those are the four in the center, the Kendra, and then one of the 5th, 9th, or 1st. That's your Karaka. And we escoochie over to Leo, are now our Scorpio sign is now in the 4th. There's our one, the 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th. Those are those houses now having one there. I know. It gets confusing, but once you get it, you get it. But I mean, after I'm finished explaining the Mars Yokokarka, then I'll come back to you and go over it again. So we have the 4th house being ruled by Scorpio, which Mars rules. And then he also owns the 9th house of higher education and that with Aries. That's Yokokarka. Owns one of the four in the center, and then either the 1st, 5th, or 9th. That's Yokokarka. So now, Kayla, what part confuses you? Oh, I just poked myself in the eye. What confuses you, Kayla? Hour mark, by the way. in a case of, and just for reference, the way that I actually read, my astrology, I actually read both Vedic and Western together at the same time. So there's that too. And I even also do this too, just for giggles. I actually take, like, say, a composite chart, like a midpoint composite chart. I actually make divisional charts of that, like between two people. I actually use the divisional charts to see, okay, how are these two going to handle a marriage together? What's their navansha like? Okay, how are they going to handle if they're like working together as a unit with the D10? How's that going to work? How are they going to handle with divinity and spiritual progress? D24. What is the obstacles and challenges and also potential sicknesses the couple is going to face? D30. What is the results of them having this unionship? D7. Having a planet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in depth. Like I actually go pinpoint in there. But so let's see here. Having a planet that is compatible. Okay, a compatible planet really is essentially, to be technical, any planet can be compatible. It's just how the dignity is. Because if you have a planet that's sign that's in the 6th, 8th, or 12th, that planet is deemed to be considered a malefic, a functional malefic. But now, say if you have a planet ruling the Kingdress or any other houses, except third, the third and 11th, because those are mild malefic houses because they trick you. If you have any house ruling one of the houses, first, fourth, seventh, 10, but then it also owns a malefic house, it actually loses its malefic impact. If that makes sense. Like for example, in Aquarius ascendant, they have Saturn ruling their ascendant, and then also their 12th house, which is a malefic house. So Saturn naturally is a natural malefic, but because since he also rules the of Saturn's a natural malefic. He's naturally malefic and baneful to everybody. He doesn't do favorites to anybody. But when he rules like the ascendant with Aquarius and then Capricorn behind it, because since he rules a Kendra, one of the first houses, 1, 4, 7, 10, and also a malefic house, ruled by Neptune, you would then check with you would then use Jupiter in response to that for Pisces. You would use Jupiter for that in response instead. Because Pisces, like using the outer planets like Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto with this regard, it won't work as good. I haven't tested it, and there's not really much on it anyway. I'm using mainly the Vedic ruling, but Neptune, as your ruling planet with Pisces, then you would actually see how Neptune is behaving in the chart, alongside with Jupiter and how he's behaving. But then again, depending on which sign it is, because Scorpio, we have a lot of things ruling it. And what was the other one? The other one, the Yogacaraka. Again, Yogacaraka is a planet that rules, that has their sign in first, fourth, seventh, 10th, and another other signs in the first, fifth, or ninth. The first, fifth, ninth, those ones are known as the Kama houses. No, not the Kama houses. The ones that are no, not the Shana. My head's running so fast. It's the houses of luck, divinity, and self-expression. The not mo- I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but those houses are like your luck and divinity houses and spiritual progress houses, 1, 5, 9. Then Kendra, or the four pillars, first, fourth, seventh, 10. When you have a planet ruling one Kendra and then one of the fifth, ninth, or first, that's Yoga Karaka. That planet becomes lucky on its own, just like that. It's pretty difficult to explain. But once you start putting it into practice, it gets better. And Lou having Lilith in the ascendant. What's your ascendant, by the way? Libra ascendant, right? I'll actually take a look and give you. Okay. Is there any other planet alongside your Lilith in the ascendant? And where's your moon placed? This is where we're gonna get really interesting because I mean I just like reading people's Black Moon Lilith placements. A moon, okay, Leo moon, Libra rising. Okay, so that means Leo would be Leo's in your 11th house then, right? You have an 11th house Leo with moon in there. Is there any other planet with Lilith or moon? Yeah, it would be because I'm using equal houses. Hello, Courtney. Is there any other planets? Uranus and Neptune with Lilith in the ascendant or with moon? Because this is so far gonna be a little bit, this is gonna get wild if that's what I'm thinking it's gonna land in. Oh, how close is Lilith with those two? How close is she? Here, here, wait a minute. Here, let me do this real quick. Okay, here. Oh, I gotta turn that back on. Wrong button. Here, I got you. Just have a moment, chew it over with the Twix bar or something. I don't know, I got nothing. Okay, here we go. Yay, okay. A Scoochie Tushy, there we go. Okay, doke. Birthday? Birth time? Birthplace? Oh, I wish I could have coffee right now, but I had to get up and get it. Ooh, what's your birth date, birth time, and birthplace? That way I'm not just looking at this camera all derpy derp like, oh, what is this dimwit doing? Okay. October 4th? Wow. That's funny because I'm October 5th. True story. Here we go. No, well, Lisa, you're still here. That's what's important. Okay, that's 8. Wrong button. Work. No. There we go. 8 of 1. Okay, okay, okay. Get that out of my life. Here we go. Oh, no. No. Open says moi. Dang it. Okay, here we go. We're going to go over here. I said we're going to go over here. Go here. Thank you. Sheesh. Okay, got it. Let's see, we're going to go like this. We're going to go plot that. We're just gonna keep it like that. Scoochie over here. Keep that the same way. House system, make it equal house. Settings, okay, that's okay. Display, we're gonna have okay, and I'm gonna include that with fine. That. Do anything else? Most likely not. Okay, now we're gonna see what we get. Okay, okay, here we go. Okay, open says more. Okay. Oh. Okay, here we go. Oh, good Lord, Lanta, you got lucky. Oh my Lord, Lanta. Holy Lord, Lanta. My good Lord. Yeesh. I, my, hmm. So, I'm jealous of your Saturn. You have a better Saturn than me. You have Saturn at 0 degrees Aquarius, retrograde. And it looks like he's right, right on the border between the third and the fourth house. That's a good thing. So, this is what we have. You essentially have Saturn retrograde, and whenever Saturn's retrograde, he actually kind of helps get you through, endeavors. And specifically because since he's right on that border of 0 degrees Aquarius, oh, because usually it's seen when a planet goes backwards, it's actually closer to Earth, so their significance is actually hitting the Earth much harder. So that being said, essentially when it comes to anything Saturnian, you kind of already have that within, so you're much more in control, much more disciplined, much more focused, and a lot more dedicated. And also you're able to break the limits. So when it comes to putting in more effort, you can put in like limitless effort. So say for an example, if you're working towards something, you're actually able to push your limits in providing as much effort as you can. So if there's something that you really want, you can keep going and going and going and going and going and going until literally you're blue in the face and still keep going until you get it. That's one part. But at the same time, you also may not know when you try it hard enough at something, then you can take a rest. Essentially, this is kind of a placement that's like saying that you have a work ethic of working nonstop and you don't stop working until, okay, break time, until a supervisor comes in and tells you to take a break. That's good. That means you can also survive a lot of opposition and other things causing you stress. But now Lilith in Capricorn in the third house, and she's with Rahu. See who's our lowest degree here. We have Rahu at okay. Rahu's at 15 degrees. Lilith is at 17 degrees. Where's this? Okay, Neptune is at 14. Uranus is at 9. And then opposites Cancer there. K2 is there. Okay, okay. So Lilith. Oh, she's also with Juno too. Actually, point blank on Juno. So here's what's happening. So essentially, Lilith is doing this to Rahu, Neptune, Uranus, and Juno. All four of them. She's doing this to them. Okay, you four, we're going to be doing things that I want to do. We're going to be going towards my empowerment, okay? You got it? So, does anybody have any questions? I hope not, because you don't need to ask questions because we're going to be doing my empowerment right now. Good, got it? Nice. So, essentially, here's what's happening. Your sense of empowerment is being given to you by pretty much your sense of being unique and also being kind of mysterious and there you go. She just said it right then and there. Lisa said it perfectly. With the tower, because you're having Uranus and Neptune and Rahu in Capricorn. Rahu likes to go kaboom and overkill stuff. Uranus is like the same way. He's like a Final Fantasy battle. You take a few steps and battle. You don't know what's going to happen. Neptune is an intoxicator and woozy wooer. But now here comes Lilith. Lilith takes control of them. A devastator means that essentially when you go towards something, you go at it full force. You go 100%. And if it destroys something, well, should have got out of the way. Like you push yourself with a lot of intensity and a lot of energy. Again, you have Saturn right next door, removing the boundaries. So Lilith is commanding all of them. We're gonna be going this way towards my empowerment. Okay? No. We're gonna be going towards this. Thanks, guys. So Rahu, nonetheless, though, Lilith is symbolized essentially by one's sense of empowerment, how one gets acts of vengeance and carries them out, how one woozy woos or intoxicates or captivates others into doing her bidding. And Lilith also can show how Lilith feels towards you, and it's also where potential trauma incidents have lied. But in this regard, Lilith is having Rahu, Uranus, Neptune, and Juno under her fingertips, pretty much pushing for her cause. So with this, your empowerment is going to be going through causing a lot of change and not stopping until the change is done and you fulfill it. And also using your abilities to intoxicate and pretty much put into somebody's mind and their imagination to achieving what you want to achieve. And as well, your companionship and unionship with another person, like a deep connection, that's also going to play a part in making sure you get your empowerment. So spouse figure is also going to be a figure that's going to help you get towards your empowerment. But all those aspects, Lilith is pulling them into getting to your empowerment first, no matter what. Is either you get your empowerment or you're going to get your empowerment. And because since Lilith's in Capricorn, the way that you feel the most empowered, essentially letting everybody know that hey, I mean business. Don't make me get the whip and whip you for being bad. Don't make me do it. Respect me. If you don't, you're gonna wish you did in the first place. That's how Lilith behaves in there. And essentially, the way again you seduce others is by letting them know that do we want to make me mad? Let's not make me mad. Because if we do, you don't like what's going to happen in the next 2 seconds. It's going to be random, but you never know what's going to happen. So don't make me mad. But also, potentially another cause of trauma could be somebody in an authoritative position who was not speaking well about you that damaged your reputation or made you feel hurt. Like somebody that was like a teacher, supervisor, or someone above you in like your work or something like that. They could have been talking pretty degradeful towards you, and that probably could have caused like some deep-rooted issues to come about because of it, just based on the placement. Let's see, 12, 1, 2, 3. But also, here's another thing too. Mars is looking right at that third house with all those planets in it. So we have this. Essentially, your Mars is looking over to Lilith And usually Mars and Lilith, they conflict. Lilith is like, oh God. Oh, he thinks he's so hot and he thinks he can handle it. He's so tough. He wishes. He wishes he can be tough. And yeah, Mars throws a hissy fit. But because Mars, with his fourth aspect looking at Lilith, he actually protects Lilith. So, since it's the 12th house of spirituality, if you practice any kind of magic or cult or spirituality or divinity, divinity also helps protect your sense of empowerment. So, if you're going towards your empowerment, you have divinity backing you up and putting energy into it. hmm I also like this too. You have Moon and Venus conjunct in Leo. So, essentially, there you go. Because divinity is like giving you a nice motivator. So, Moon and Venus in the 11th in Leo. Here comes a good one. Essentially, you find the most beauty and you feel the most secure getting recognition by those that are in a large network circle. You feel the most full when your friends give you recognition. And you also like to share your creative self-expression with your friends. And you find the most beauty when your friends are able to share their creative expression with you. And it makes you feel full. And you're actually able to find the goodness into it and give them recognition. And it's mutual. And you also like to be very creative in the way you gain money or gain any kind of gain, whatever, like a like a gains of investment. You kind of like to see creative ways you can invest and gain it. So, I mean, I'm kind of jealous with that Saturn at 0 degrees. Retrograde's like, oh, good Lord, Lanta, that old man is like he's acting like how he once was. I'm still here. I'm just looking at something, and I like how one of my earbuds just decided to go "Brr," out the window. I mean, looks good to me. The only thing that I'd be really careful of, and I would just take some extra notes with, primarily, I would have to say, where is this thing that you click on? Oh, what am I doing? I can just do it this way. Gosh, dimwit. Okay, October. I'm just gonna double check everything. Okay, right there. Okay, I just gotta love when caps lock just messes everything up. Like, oh, you want to know caps? No, just the first letter, but okay, we'll go with it. Okay, doke. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Judging by this, it looks like you have a. Oh, good. Oh, oh, that's majestic. I am jealous. I am jealous. Good Lord, Lanta. Yeesh, it's good. It's good. I'll say that much. Uh, Good Lord, Lanta. No, really, like, I'm looking at this like, okay, so here, okay, I have to see how this looks. Wow. Well, I can definitely say this. Um, are you, by any chance, are you married at all? Because Let's just say when you get married and you have a spouse figure, at least on the Vedic side, on your Navamsha chart, you're golden. Because here's what you got. In your marriage chart, you have, well, let's take it from the top. You have a sun with directional strength, meaning that your sense of self and your sense of fulfillment is going to be knowing exactly where to go. You have Jupiter in Aquarius in the 11th house, but here's the thing. Whenever Jupiter is in Aquarius, it acts like if it's in its highest dignity in Cancer. And the way that Jupiter is placed in the 11th house, he's looking at your 7th house of spouse and partnership. So he blesses that house. So your 7th house of your marriage chart is being blessed. You have Mars in the ascendant in Aries, which he's comfortable in. And, well, here, it gets better. It just keeps getting better. You have Rahu exalted in, what nextchakra was that? No, not that one. You have Rahu, do I dare say anymore? I quit. Because, I mean, it's like, the more I look at this, is like, stop throwing me too many, there's too many good things to look at that I'm starting to get cross-eyed. Back there. No, not that one. There. No. Dimwit. There you go. You have, where to go? Rahu, oh, nailed it. You have Rahu exalted in Rohini, which is just majestic. Pretty much Rahu, when he's in Rohini, he's in like, oh, I'm so blown away and happy and all this. And then you have Ketu in Scorpio, Anuradha, which kind of shows that essentially you already know how to devote and commit to someone when it comes to like a marriage and unionship. But because you have Moon in Jeshta, that kind of shows that you're really going to be desiring to have that really deep, intimate connection with your spouse figure. But now here comes the good part. You have Saturn. Do you remember what I was saying earlier about having Saturn in the 7th house? You have that. You have Saturn in the 7th house. So he has directional strength in the 7th house. So he's in the spot where he's crystal clear and he knows exactly what to do. But it gets better. Don't think I was stopping there. You have Saturn exalted in Libra. Literally, your Saturn in Aquarius retrograde is already potent enough. Marriage chart. Saturn is in the 7th house in Libra. Exalted, drunk, potent, meaning this. Essentially, spouse figure is going to be someone who is like extremely tooth and nail committed to you to the point where they will defy logic to just stick with you. They will actually be at your side the whole bloody time and not go anywhere. They'll be really negotiable. They'll actually be putting the marriage and the unionship first, which is the point. And you better believe that this person is not going to divorce you or go anywhere. No. Not with this, no. And Venus is in the 9th house in Sagittarius. Wooby woo. But here comes the kicker. Since Venus is in the 9th house, and now essentially Saturn does have to kind of abide how Venus is behaving, but since she's in Sagittarius, she has to rely on Jupiter to know how she behaves. Jupiter is acting like he's exalted in Cancer, in Aquarius. So Jupiter acting exalted tells Venus, okay, act good, Missy. So Venus is like, okay, I'm going to act my best in here to be on my best behavior in Jupiter's house. So she acts at her best behavior. And now here's another kicker. Saturn is exalted, and Jupiter has to listen to Saturn because Aquarius is owned by Saturn. So Jupiter, looking at Saturn's like, how do you want me to behave, old geezer? Just act like a young brat. Be good. Woo! Oh, my back. So now Jupiter is like, Okay, I guess I'll act exalted. All right, I guess I'll act my best, but I'm already at my best, so double the best. But the funny part, Jupiter's ninth aspect is looking at Saturn, blessing Saturn. So Saturn is just going from like exalted, like a lot of potency, to like kind of breaking the scale. And Jupiter is, with this placement, confirming that marriage is promised. That's the first. Actually, you should watch some of my other Saturn videos then. But I mean, yeah, if you have a great chart placement, what time is it? Oh crap! I have about in like 7 minutes a call that I have to be in, so I'm gonna have to end the live stream here. But make sure you guys are have that notification bell thing clicked on, so that way when I go live again, you guys will know. I'm gonna try and be live again a little bit later today, and I hope this was good. But other than that, I'll see you guys pretty soon. Maybe even after one of my calls done. But thanks for watching if you survived this long. Anytime, Lou. See you guys later.